So 1 billion is actually 1/1000th of 1 trillion. And so this is where that dot would actually be. If I were doing this with you in a group setting or a training, we would have stopped and shared where you put that dot, what your reasoning for putting that dot there was, allowed you to change your mind if you heard convincing evidence that you agreed with, because we should all change our mind if we get new information. So most people will put this dot in the center. I would say that happens more often than not, because we have 0, we have a trillion, there's a million in there. So some people put it 2/3 of the way. So 1/3 of the way would be a million, 2/3 of the way would be a billion, and the last would be a trillion. And that is their reasoning for that. All makes sense to most of us. Now, if you're really a math person, you're into math and you teach higher levels of math, a lot of people have it closer to the beginning. So my reasoning when I did it the first time, and I was in a room full of mathematics people who most all did not have it placed anywhere close to accurate. So that will tell you, letting you know, if yours wasn't, don't feel like you're alone at all. And the room was abuzz with conversation as to where this dot should go. What I ended up doing after I realized that it challenged my thinking, I thought, okay, well, what would halfway be? And halfway would be 500 billion, because 1,000 billion would be a trillion. So that's where I started, was putting that 500 billion in the middle. And then I worked my way from there. And when I worked my way from there and realized where that dot would be, I even felt a little lacking in confidence in my decision. So I ask you to think about a couple of things. We often think that if a student can accurately carry out a procedure, that they understand the concept, the relationship, and the magnitude of the quantities they're working with, which is not necessarily the case. Now, if I had put 1 million on this end of this number line and given you any number, you probably would have been real close to correct, because we have an understanding and a concept in our adult lives of what 0 to 1 million is. But when it's a trillion, we really don't. So as I usually share, when they say how many trillions of dollars in debt we are, that should make most of us fall on the floor with concern, but we don't. We just listen and it goes in one ear and out the other, because we don't really have a concept of how large that is. The other thing is, if I had given you the one with the zeros after it and the billion with the zeros after it, you could have added, you could have subtracted, you could have done procedures with them, but you still didn't understand the relationship there of the magnitude of these. And that's what we're talking about when we talk about how number lines can really convey that conceptual understanding in a way that nothing else does in that same powerful way. So I hope this activity gives you pause to ponder whether producing unreasonable answers, like students do, is actually apathy or carelessness or not caring, or if it's just a true lack of understanding. They don't have that sense of 1 million versus 100 versus 1,000 versus 10 versus a trillion. They don't have that concept. So we have to use instruction and tools that will help them grasp the understanding, the conceptual understanding.